welcome to 48-hour art check. We are a couple minutes late because I didn't get my stuff ready. So not on Kaitlin, completely on me. So welcome back to the art check. We're excited to have you if you're listening in. We're just gonna get straight to it. Kaitlin, what have you done in the past 48 hours?
All right, so I have tried to be faithful to my goal of having a YouTube video done about shape tweens. But I don't say it like that.
Listen, you gave me such a hard time about my sticker stint.
I know.
A whole hour video. So
I was telling Kayla that I have a fear of if I'm gonna make a video, I want to make sure that I know what I'm talking about. So I am having a hard time filming because I don't want to be filming and then go, wait, why is that happening? So I'm trying to work out the kinks of shape tweens. So to do that, instead of working on my regular animation, I wanted to do like a really simple little one that I could do in the video. And I thought that it was going to be a really simple animation, and it hasn't been. But it's this cute little lava lamp. So we're going to watch it. Ready?
Yeah.
Look at that. So cute. Ta-da! That's it. So yeah, at least I am making progress.
Oh, I can't hear anything. What the heck?
No.
Oh, there we go. I can hear stuff now.
Okay. Whew. But yeah, just working on getting the video done, trying to make sure I know my stuff. So yeah.
And I'm giving you a hard time, but what you're doing makes sense.
Yeah. Like right now, so the way I normally do shape tweens is I design it in Illustrator and then copy and paste it into After Effects. And for some reason, it'll copy 4 of them over just fine. But then the 5th one, there's like a main square, like a double square anchor point in After Effects. And for some reason, the 5th time that I paste it, it flips it over to the other side so that it makes the whole shape flip over. And I don't know why it does that. So that's the thing that I'm working on trying to figure out right now. So if anybody watches this and knows what's happening, please help me out. Because I don't know.
If you are experienced in not Illustrator, After Effects. Gosh, my brain is not working today. I just realized I didn't even post that we were going live.
It's fine.
So the link is now in my bio. Post on Instagram as I do this. I'm sorry. I'm a hot mess right now. I'm not normally this way. It took until round 7 for me to be unorganized.
It's pretty good, I think.
Okay. Sorry. Link in bio. Okay. So, what I have done in the past 48 hours is not that. There. I went on a product photography photo shoot today, and it was a blast. I did it with this woman that I know from church, and she said, I used to do photography. I've seen that you're doing photography and you're studying it and whatnot. And I'm curious if you would like to join me on a photo shoot. And I was like, sure. And it was going to happen a couple weeks ago, but my schedule was just so crazy. So we finally got to do it today. So there's this one. And then there's this one. I really like this one.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, I really like this one a lot. These are 2 of the ones that I took. I haven't gotten to go through them yet, just because my day has been all over the place. And then this is just a cool setup that we had going. I took a picture of it because I found it fun. We had like a softbox light and a diffuser, and then we had the whole shadow reflect, the shadow around the box around it to eliminate shadows. And it had like a hole in the top that you could just put your camera through and take pictures. So it was really cool. Like, it was a whole like at home setup for it. It was really awesome. And then my sticker stint. They're out of order, but this was my one today. Yin and Yang. And then I had my Angels and Devils going on. And then I took the fact that I did Yin and Yang today, because I've been debating whether or not I was going to take a break and do a day 0.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, I went, what if I just make a really simple sticker?
There you go.
Just make a really simple sticker. Get it done. Have a sticker that day, but a really freaking simple sticker. And sketch all day. And so that's what I did. I made the sticker, and I finished that this morning at 6:30 a.m. And the kid slept through my whole shift.
Wow.
My whole shift. She slept straight through until 10.
Wow.
So I got these done. I got this done.
Nice.
I've got all the way until day 13 done, and then I got this kind of done.
Oh, cool.
I learned how to draw a face today. This is Jekyll and Hyde.
Ooh, did I ever show you my Jekyll and Hyde that I did?
No.
Let me see. I did it for my icons. You keep talking. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, so I did Jekyll and Hyde. That one I'm pretty excited for. I keep on saying that I don't know how to sketch, but I drew this I spent time today. I did this by hand.
Wow.
So it's not like the best face in the world.
Nice.
But it's better than others. I'm still debating on this one. It's supposed to be a cup with half of it filled and half of the bottom filled and half of the top filled, and it's half empty or half full. I don't know how I feel about that one.
Wait, show it again. Sorry.
It looks like it's not colored, so it looks weird, but it's like a cup, and then this water, and then that would be water.
Okay.
I don't know. Some of these I'm excited for. Some of them not so much. But I think it's just because I haven't gotten all the ideas down yet. And I still have 11 more stickers to choose from. I counted though. And after my Facebook post, and talking to you guys, and my 2 a.m. induced ADHD thing where I decided I was going to do a sticker stint, I had around 90 sticker ideas.
There you go.
So you got super pixely.
Oh no, why does it keep doing that? I found
Yeah, you got super pixely, so I'm afraid.
Oh no.
I will let you know if your audio starts cutting.
Oh.
It started cutting. It just started cutting.
Of course. Is it still really bad?
It fixed for now.
Okay. That's my Jekyll and Hyde that I did.
I like it.
Very similar ideas. So
yeah. I'm trying to decide if he's going to be green or he's going to be red, because I've seen both.
Oh, yeah?
If you look up, let me find it. We're just going to talk about this sticker for a bit. Because I'm excited for this one.
Yeah.
So if you look at, share my screen. But don't share that one. Chrome tab. Jekyll and Hyde. Right here, it's red.
Okay, yeah.
And you go here and it has a green background.
Mm-hmm.
And here it's green, but even here, Hyde is red.
Yeah.
Red. All of this.
So scroll down a little bit. There was one that I saw that was, do you see, wait, stop, go back up. Just one more, go up one more row, and then all the way to the left. Up one. That one. So that is the one that I was looking at when I did mine, because I was basing mine off of classic horror movies.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's how he looked in the classic horror movie. He was green.
Yeah, I based mine off of this one.
Nice. I like that.
this was kind of my reference. So that's why he has the little like line down his face.
Mhm.
Go back up. But yeah, he has the little line down his face.
Yeah. Well, very cool. I'm excited to see you do it. Like, I'm excited to see the finished product.
I am too. I'm excited and super anxious about it. So, yeah. Anyways, we've spent 10 minutes on that.
Yep.
We'll make it up in the next 2 rounds. What were your challenges?
Yeah, so kind of just what I mentioned already of being anxious about not knowing everything I can know about shape tweens before I make a video. And then just that weird key, like the anchor point, key point thing. I don't know what's going on there, so I need to try and figure that out. Yeah.
All right. I wish I knew. You're gonna have to like show me.
Yeah, we can do that after.
Yeah, because I don't know what you're talking about with that.
Well, it feels like it's the anchor point that leads the transformation.
Mm-hmm.
So like because it's flipping all the way over, everything else is flipping.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. I will show you.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. I also am not knowledgeable on shape tweens, so I seriously might not be able to help at all.
Kayla.
I'm looking forward to your video so I can be knowledgeable. This is sad, but it's so I can be knowledgeable on shape tweens.
Got it. That's why.
Yeah.
Okay. What were your challenges?
Just so there wasn't like a huge challenge at all. Still working on finding that like family art balance. Especially this week, it's just super, super hard. Because the sticker stint just feels very overwhelming at times, like extremely overwhelming. And so it's like hard because like all I want to do is go work on that, but then I'm super overwhelmed. And so I don't really want to work on it. And I just want to hang out with my family.
Yep.
So it's like a weird mix of stuff. And so like today I went out shooting with my uncle for like an hour and a half and like had a blast. But like what I did pretty much leading up to it was like sketch and sketch and sketch and sketch and design the sticker and like do all that. And so like I think that was a pretty good balance today, but also today was just sketching and making a yin and yang symbol. Like easy.
Yeah.
And so I'm nervous to see what happens when I start to do the more intense stickers like the Jekyll and Hyde. And just see how that's going to turn out.
Yeah.
The challenge of like a normal bedtime, it's working there. We're getting there. I went to bed at like 10 last night and I woke up at 5, but that's not going to happen tonight. Yeah. So getting somewhere with it.
Yeah.
And then I already told you this, but just like I've been working out a lot and I've been doing a decently intense workout, I would say, for not working out beforehand. And I'm just like super sore. I'm like holding my arm like in one place, like to do like mess with my mouse and stuff, like hurts.
Oh.
And so just being obviously like it's nothing huge, like I'm just sore, like it's fine. But it is a bit of a challenge because it's like I really don't want to go do that.
Yeah.
I can feel a muscle in my arm that I didn't feel before. And so that, and then I don't know if you did planning to overcome your challenges. You kind of did.
Yeah. Well, I touched on what I'm going to do to overcome them, but my plan for the next 48 hours is the same plan that it's been. I'm going to figure out shape tweens and make that video so that you can use it for your edification.
I'm waiting. I'm like your first YouTube subscriber waiting.
Yay.
I'm waiting for you to post it and create a channel so I can go subscribe.
I'll get it done. I promise.
It'll happen. It's okay. I can't say anything. Until next week on Wednesday, if you still don't have it done, then I can say something on Friday.
Okay, sounds good.
Because that's how long it took.
For me to say something about your stickers. Yep.
Yeah, so then I can actually say stuff. But up until now, it's just jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for overcoming my challenges and whatnot, just like continuing to make family my priority, just trying to make sure I sleep 7 hours in some way, shape, or form is my challenge to myself right now. Because the 4 hour thing, the 4 hour, 13-hour thing
doesn't work very well. Yeah.
Work in Rexburg.
No.
So figuring that out, and then my plan for the next 48 hours. Obviously, I have 2 more stickers to do. I plan to get your feedback on the ones that I've done and just about what I'm working on because I have like a draft.
Mm-hmm.
And then I want to spend a bit of time learning more about social media.
Okay.
I want to see if I still have access to the PowerPoints from 315.
Ooh, I think you should, because you still have access to the class.
Yeah. I didn't have access to his content calendar anymore, and so I wasn't sure if he like changed it. I don't know. I haven't tried.
You could probably email him and get it from him.
Yeah. If I don't, I probably will. But I want to like relook at those PowerPoints and just spend some time looking over it because like I figured with the sticker stint I would be posting a lot more and therefore gaining more followers, and I'm using hashtags and whatnot, but I'm not. I lost a follower, and I assumed that person was following me for photography.
Oh, yeah?
And then I started posting all of this design stuff, and they were like, what? So, like, I'm not, like, super upset about it or anything, but, like, I did notice it. You know, I did lose a follower. And, like, I keep on checking, and I haven't lost any. But my engagement rate has gone way down, and my follower count hasn't grown at all. So, like, I've stagnated, and I don't really want to.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, and so I just want to look into that. I'm not really going to come up with a game plan. I just really want to look into, try to remember what I learned last semester.
Yeah.
But that's it.
All right.
Sweet.
Yeah, thanks.
Is that everything? Did we do all 4 questions?
I think so.
18 minutes.
Nice. Not our shortest, but not our longest. So
listen, as long as we don't hit 25, we're good. I know every time we like finish like before 20, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah. Proud of ourselves.
Proud of us. Anyways, today is your topic.
Yes. So we are talking about overcoming the creative block. When you can't think of ideas or you can't come up with what to do next. Which I think is like a terrifying it's a terrifying situation to be in because like you really do feel stuck. Like you don't know what to do next. So at least for me, I have only ever felt it like, well, that's not true. The biggest time I felt it, I think I've talked about before, was with my senior project. And like I had one idea, but I wasn't really happy with it, and I just couldn't come up with other ones. And is it just me, or does it feel like it happens when it's like you need to be creative, like you need to come up with a good idea, but it's just not coming?
No, yep.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
Yeah, it's terrible. So the biggest things that have always broken me out of it, and maybe you have some that you can share too, which would be nice. But and we kind of joked about it a little bit, but like doing mindless tasks where your brain can just like wander. Because if you're sitting there staring at a sketchbook, you're not going to come up with stuff. But like, go wash some dishes.
Go wash some dishes. So this is really, really interesting because I didn't realize it until right now hearing you talk about it. This is pretty much the exact topic that Corey Kerr, Joshua Kimball, and Scott Cirkland talked about.
Really?
And they didn't refer to it as like overcoming creative block. And I cannot pronounce what it was, but it's like basically, oh my gosh, I'm gonna mess this up so bad, and he's gonna watch the video and be like, "That's right," but hopefully I get this right. When it was like Albert Einstein had this like thing that he did where when he would get stuck on like a mathematical equation, he would go play the violin, like just like as something to do to like get his head out of it. And as he was playing, he would come up with the solution to what he was trying to figure out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So they did this whole, I think they did like an hour on it or something. Anyways, so they talked about that. And so it's interesting because now I'm like hearing you talk about it. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But one thing that they said that I do agree with is sketching. Like it helps, although it's like rough because sketching isn't exactly mindless, but like you can kind of make it mindless in a way.
Yeah. More like doodle.
Yeah, you just doodle. Like you're not sitting there like sketching. You're not like sitting there like, I need to come up with the next big thing, but you're just like, oh, like I'm just gonna sketch this chair. Like one time, let me see if I can find it. I said, oh, I'm gonna sketch, I think it was a prescription bottle. Oh my gosh, I might not be able to find it now. But I was just sitting in like a doctor's office. Oh, one time I just sketched pencils.
Nice. There you go.
Just like all different versions of pencils.
Yeah.
My friend drew a scribble on a paper and I turned it into a treasure map. Like, not the best treasure map, but that's all I could think of.
Yeah.
And just like stuff like that is gonna bug me. Yeah, so like I just like started off like I drew a carton and then like I got to this eyeball. Like none of this I'm ever gonna do anything with.
Yeah.
But it helped kind of with like my creativity a little bit because that's kind of what got me on the path of a sticker stint. And so I think for me, like, and obviously like the sticker stint was like all over the place and whatnot, but like that's kind of what got the first idea there. And so for me, I think like sketching helps a lot. But on the flip side, also taking a break, like a little break.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you do a super intensive project and you feel burned out and then you're like, time for the next one, let's go. As somebody who tried that, watch the 48-hour art checks leading up to this. I failed. Don't do that. Speaking from experience, like you need, and some people don't need a break, and like that blows my mind. Like if you don't need a break, like I don't know if you need a break, but like I can't do it.
I generally need to take breaks. But like it's hard because I feel like you can't like take a break from designing, but I feel like you can't fully take a break or like you start to like if you're like, oh, I don't have to think about design, I can put design out of my brain. I think that's where it gets dangerous because if like so after I did all these really intense projects for 462, I went on this road trip and we were at one point we were driving 3 different cars. So I was driving a car by myself. And I like it was just driving through the middle of nowhere. Like we went, I think the day where I had the most ideas was New Mexico and Texas. Because it was like I knew that I needed to start a project when I got home. I knew that I needed to work on something. And so I was kind of just like driving through the middle of nowhere, listening to music, and then like seeing things where it's like, that's a really cool idea. And then just letting that idea bounce around in my brain. But I didn't really put any pressure on any idea that I had.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't like, this is the one idea that I'm going to work on. I have to think about this idea. It was more like, oh, this would be cool, but so would this. Like, what about this thing? So it like, just, I think that's the key to it too, is like, if you feel like you're putting pressure on yourself, I think that's where taking a break comes in really well, but also not fully taking the pressure away.
I don't think you should like ever fully take a break. And I disagreed with this until Professor Kerr said it to me, and I was like, okay, like it was one of those things where I was like, I know that you have more experience than me, and I know that you're saying it, but why? Like, and it's like one of those things where it's like, I was just like, I know. And so like, I did exactly what he said, because I knew that he knew way better than I did. But at the time I was like, I'm exhausted. I'm so burnt out. I just did I helped with the 462 project. I did my animation. Like I had my 315 due. I had like my website due, my social media thing due, like all this stuff. And I was just like, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
And like, he told me, he was like, you need to at least sketch once a day. And I was like, okay. And he's like, you need to do like something once a day, like at least a sketch. Like if you do something else, that's like an art thing, like whatever, like do something artistic once a day or creative once a day. And so like, I think that helps with like overcoming like the creative block, where it's like you can sit there and stare at, a piece of paper for an hour, but you're going to wind up with something on it. And like not putting that pressure of, this is my next big thing. Like, because that pressure is like, how do I put it? Paralyzing.
Yeah.
Like literally me. Summer break. And I'm not like trying to be like all about me, but like if you're ever watching this or listening to this as a podcast, don't be me. Learn from my mistakes. Like I put so much pressure on it. And like you figured it out. You like got it out of me, like how much pressure I was putting on, whatever I was doing next. And like it was one of those things where it's like, okay, well, I need to jump in and do some type of project.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be your next big thing, because I don't know, in my opinion, you may disagree with this. In my opinion, that's where a lot of like, at least for me, my creative block comes from, is like paralysis. Like I don't want to move forward because I don't know if the idea is good.
Yeah. I have seen, to me, each person experiences a different type of creative block, I feel like, but mine has always been like, that I just run out of ideas. Like I'd had a bunch and now I can't remember any of them. And I think that like it might come from the same place of like, well, the ideas weren't good enough. Like I had a bunch of them, but they're not going to go anywhere or do anything. So I think that, kind of going back to one of our previous topics of the idea of a successful project, of like, you don't really know if a project's going to be successful until you start it. So I think that, I don't know how to say what I'm trying to say, but like, even if you have a tiny idea and you're like, oh, this is not that great, like this probably won't go anywhere, just starting it and working on it can help you create the juices that you need to come up with your next idea, and like kind of use that as a jumping pad, like jump from one idea to the next. So you might not be happy with the idea that you have now, but just starting it will help you move along. It'll help you get unstuck.
Yes. If you're in the chats right now or watching this live, I'm curious as to what you have done to overcome the creative block. Either what you've done to overcome it, or like what kind of do you think causes your creative block? You know, just stuff like that. Because I'm just curious to know from other people other than just the two of us.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely going to pick Iris's brain about this next week. But yeah, I think it's interesting what you said, like running out of ideas. Because like this is interesting because this ties back to like so much of our old topics. This is only round 7. But running out of ideas when we talked about like inspiration, where it's like, even I feel like the main thing, like when I was sitting there like, well, I don't have a new we have a comment from Professor Kerr, and he says creative block equals resistance. Yeah. Resistance is all in your head, a force that tries to stop you from starting. Yeah. Just my whole like 3 weeks of summer.
3 weeks of summer, yep.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think it's yeah, and he said once you start it goes away. And I think I mean I 100% agree with that, because like today, you know, was my day 5, but I also used it to do a day 0 because like I had like this huge like I'm not going to do my sticker stint because like what if it's not good enough, and like people are expecting this huge project from me because I just did a big one, and like all this stuff. And we talked about that in round 5, and I can't remember the name of it, but
successful projects one.
Yes, not every project is successful.
Yes.
And just like basically what happened is we talked about it forever, and then we ended the video chat, and then like 15 minutes later I was like, here's my draft for my sticker.
Yes.
I sent it to you, and then like way too early in the morning, I should have been asleep. On the Side Hustle Facebook page. And I posted it on, I think I posted it on the BYUI one too.
You did.
And I was just like, I need feedback. This is not a 24 days of something. I just need feedback. I'm just trying to challenge myself. 24 hours, just want to do one sticker. And then I texted you later that day and I was like, I think I just started the 24 days of something. But it is like, once you start, like it does go away and it's really nice. But leading up to it, I feel like it's also just like a lot of like anxiety about it too. Like I don't have all these ideas, and then we get anxious, and then like we actually like stop coming up with ideas.
Yeah. Yeah, because you've built it up all in your head, which is why, I mean, I keep saying it. I think it's kind of funny, but go wash some dishes, because that you're releasing you're thinking about something else, like you're doing something else that has nothing to do with it. So it clears your mind from that anxiety and from that pressure that you're putting on yourself. But it does have to be like slightly mindless, like going for a drive, like you're like paying attention and doing things, but not really. Like your mind has the freedom to wander and think about stuff. And so it's a way to relax without having to focus on relaxing. So like you're not sitting there like, all right, I got to be calm. I got to calm down. Like I got to think about this. Like just releasing the anxiety and the pressure by doing something else can totally help break that resistance down.
Professor Kerr said, Monday's art check covered how Einstein got over this. I tried to explain it. I did such a bad job.
But I'm gonna have to go back and watch it.
I did talk about it. I did. I couldn't remember what the name of it was, but I explained the basic concept. I did. And I talked about sketching. But I tried to explain it because I did watch it. And that was like after we had chosen this topic. And then as we brought it up, I realized that they connected. But yeah, no, the washing the dishes thing, I mean, speaking from experience, it helps. You kept on saying, just go wash dishes. And I was like, this is dumb. I don't need to go wash dishes. And I was like, yeah, I'll go wash dishes. And it works.
Yeah.
And I mean, just like, it kind of also is just like not having programmed time, where it's like everything that we do is like programmed. Like, I'm on my phone all the time. I'm listening to music in the background, like 24/7 pretty much. Like, I go to sleep with music playing on my phone. I wake up to a song on my alarm. And like, I use music all the time because like otherwise like my brain is just like a jumbled mess of ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And so like for me like just listening to music all the time like drains out all those ideas. But the thing is like today, when I was sitting there and I had a 1-year-old taking a nap next to me in a playpen, like I couldn't just play my music loud. I didn't want to wake her up. And so I just sat there in silence, and like I got so many sketches done.
Yeah.
And so it's just insane because it's like if you don't have, that background of music, or sitting on your phone, watching Netflix, like if you're not watching Netflix while you are washing your dishes, or if you turn off the music in your car, obviously still pay attention to driving, but you know what we mean. But just not having something going on helps a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Because the creative block is seriously, it is all in your head, like 100%.
Yeah.
I don't know. What are you thinking?
Well, when you said that, all I could think of was Harry Potter. Like, just because it's happening in your head doesn't mean it's not real. Because, like, it is a legitimate thing that you're experiencing, but it is all in your head, and you just need to make the choice to move past it and to get over it. So,
but yeah, it is like a serious thing. But like, also like, I don't know. I have a question for you, I guess, and
okay,
just in general for everybody. But do you think, like personally, do you find it easier to get over the creative block by just like trying to do like little projects like to fill your time, or like trying to constantly be coming to your next big idea, like trying to constantly like come up with ideas for your next big idea?
So are you saying, do I find it easier to brainstorm to get out of it, or to actually work on stuff to get out of it?
Yeah, to brainstorm.
I think for me, what breaks it is working on stuff, because like it's kind of what we're talking about, is like you can brainstorm yourself into circles because all you're thinking about is, what do I need to be doing next? What I talked about in the beginning with my senior project, I didn't start coming up, like after I started working on it, I was like, oh, I could have done like this project, or I could have done like these baseball cards, and so it didn't come to me until I started working on the project. And I think that if I would have changed the project, but just working on it broke that for me. And luckily I haven't fallen back into it since then. But yeah, I definitely am a work on it person. So just a little tiny, like, I also am not confident in my sketching skills. So it always has to be like in Illustrator, or I'm like, oh, that's not good. I'm not even going to pay attention to that. But I am a work on it person for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just curious because like I realized it in myself. Like I kept on saying like, oh, I'm just going to like work on like one project a day or something. But it was still like, oh, I'm brainstorming for this animation that I'm going to do. Oh, I'm brainstorming for this sticker stint that I'm going to do. Like everything that I was saying was brainstorming. Like I think, at least from what I remember, that's mainly what I was saying. Was like, I'm going to brainstorm for this, or I'm going to brainstorm for this. And like that in itself helped me. But I also was doing like side projects on the side.
Yeah.
And so I think it's interesting because for me, like I could sit there and brainstorm, and just like fill up a whole sketch page. And like, I'm not confident in my sketching skills. Like, to me, they look like scribbles, and they just, sharing them on Art Check or on my Instagram story is the most that they're probably ever going to be shared. But just like sitting there and sketching, for me, like, I need ideas. I need to brainstorm, like, for whatever the heck it is. And just like sitting there and just like, okay, I'm just going to sketch 10 random ideas that come to my head, and I'm going to try to turn one of them into a project. That's helped me before. It helped me with my animation that I made.
Yeah.
Because that was like, I'm going to sketch random things that I've heard people talk about around me that I think would be a cool sticker. And so I sketched it out. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to work on this one, because this one could be interesting. I came up with this huge animation idea, and then I was like, well, I really don't want to animate anything. So it was a cool idea, but never mind. But like, for me, like, I kept on being like pulled back to that idea. Like, this would be a really freaking cool idea. Like, I would try to kind of get off of it, but like, I wound up like blocking myself from doing any other ideas because I had brainstormed this one idea already, and I just didn't want to put in the work. I was lazy. Needless to say, long way of saying, if you're lazy about doing a project, that could be causing your creative block. That's the story of all my projects.
Yeah. I like, just to go off of that, like, yeah, you're not gonna get over the creative block if you're lazy. Like, it's not gonna work because you're just gonna keep like bouncing around ideas and making excuses when it really does come down to just starting it. Like, just do it. Yep.
Listen, I'm waiting for your YouTube video to not get done.
Hey, I know.
So this way I can say
it's gonna happen. I'm gonna have a YouTube video done by Friday. It's gonna happen. It's for real this time.
It was for real last time.
No, but this time it's for real, for real. I'm making progress on it. I just didn't film anything yet. I have the animation ready to film it. But I just wanted to go back to kind of something I said in a previous art check of writing down your ideas, because when you are in a situation where those ideas are flowing and you're constantly thinking of new things, if you write those down and bank them for a time where you can't come up with other ideas, then at least you have a project that you know at one point you wanted to do it. You know that you probably could successfully get it done. And then that is just something little to get you started to think of your next idea, but you have like fallback ideas to go back on. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Write stuff down.
Write stuff down. Yeah. And that does like help too, because like the sticker stint like was just an idea that I had, and I kept on saying I was going to do it. And then like right before I started it, I came up with like my animation idea. And like, I'm still pretty excited. Like, I do want to do that animation at some point. But that like came up while I was like blocked from another project, and I have a list somewhere on one of my phones or laptops, I don't know, on something. iCloud shares them all. So on all of my devices, I have a list. And like, I just keep on adding to it where it's like, oh, this would be kind of cool. Like, it may never get done. I would love to create my website. Like, I would love to.
Eventually, you'll get there.
Eventually. But like, it's one of those things too where it's like, I didn't want to write that down on the list because I don't have enough stuff to make a website. Like, my portfolio is like 3 projects that I'm proud of. Like, if I'm going to put them in a portfolio, like 3 projects.
Well, just real quick sidebar. If you make it now, you can post your projects as you make them. So it's not a big, you have to make it and put 20 projects up. You just have to create a post dedicated to a project once you finish the project. But continue.
Every time, man. Every time.
I love you, Kayla.
Every time I say something and I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna wait on doing this one, you're like, but
if you don't wait, it's because I'm talking from experience. I waited to create my website and I still don't have everything on my website because it takes forever and I don't like doing it. But if you get it done now, you can just post about it and it's super easy.
How about I'll get it done once I'm done making one sticker every 24 hours.
There you go. I like that plan.
Constantly doing a day zero while it happens.
Hey, you don't have to do that anymore. You did your day 0.
Kind of. I'm to day 13.
Well, day 13, you do a reset and you do another day 0.
Or I'm just going to stay up to like 1 a.m. doing them tonight, probably. But listen, I can run off of 4 hours of sleep. It happens. But anyways, back to it. I'm postponing that project currently.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get it. Yeah. I mean, I've heard that though, because I think I've heard so many people like, yeah, I just want to update my website, or like, I just want to do this to my website. And I'm over here like, I'm not ready for that commitment of having a website that's never finished. Because like that's the same thing like with saying a portfolio is finished. Like your portfolio is never finished, like ever. Who was it? Who told me it? Professor Rognan said typically what happens is that like you build up your portfolio to have 10 projects. And then from there, when you get new projects done, you like replace out the 10 projects. So like your portfolio is never done because like the second that you have a new project, like you want to add it in there. I don't know. Maybe I'll start looking at a website thing, but
do it
in my free time. I'll just get less sleep and come up with more ideas. What was I saying before we started talking about this? What was I saying? I was making a point.
Oh man.
You know.
You were talking about you were talking about planning projects for the future and like having a bank of projects that you need to work on.
Yes. So like even though like right now I have my senior project that I'm doing in winter. Like, why are you shaking your head?
No, you're good.
I have my senior project that I'm doing in winter. And you know, right now the idea is for it to be a board game. Like I'm not starting that until January, but like I'm gonna keep on coming up with ideas for it. Like that's just kind of it goes to your whole thing where it's like, in your opinion, like until like a project is like done, you're never really done with a project because you're just hitting pause on it.
Yeah.
It's like I think it's nice to have like a list of just a bunch of products that you hit pause on. Because if you decide, I didn't show this one. Where is it? Like talking about like it's a daily battle that's won or lost, whether you sit down to work or not. Like at the end of the day, if you decide like I'm going to sit here and work on something, and you can just pull out this list of projects and go, this one, I'm just going to do this one. You know, maybe I'm not going to finish it, but for an hour, I'm going to work on this one or whatever. Like your creative block, like it's a fix-all. Like to have that list of projects that you can just pull out and be like, oh, okay, I don't know if this is going to go anywhere, but let me work on this one for an hour.
Yeah.
You know, and for me, my fallback is to create social media content.
There you go.
That's like my fallback. Like,
yep.
If I stop posting on social media, I'm going to lose followers. Like also my fallback has become this art check. Where it's like, if I don't show up to art check with something to show, like, too bad, you know, I gotta show up.
Yeah.
And so like having that list is really, really nice because it's like, oh, okay, I can create content out of a sticker stint. I can create content out of sketching my animation that's going to happen in, what's today, day 5, 19 days. you know,
Yeah.
just stuff like that. I don't know. Like, do you have like a fallback kind of? Have you noticed?
Like what do you like a fallback project? Like if I don't want to work on my main project, do you mean?
No, like a fallback, like something that like fallback isn't the right word, but like
The default?
that's like underground, like motivating you. Like,
Yeah.
like,
I mean, so I have two things. You kind of mentioned this art check because I don't want to like show up and not have anything done. Like I think Friday of last week I like had to throw something together in 2 hours because I was like I'm not going to show up to this and not have anything done, which is like the whole purpose of it. So awesome that it's working. But also this I guess it's like the fear of stagnation. Like I'm very afraid that if I'm not working on something, I'm gonna like kind of what we talked about with the shape tweens and animation. Like I didn't practice it for 2 weeks and already forgot how to do it, and I had to relearn how to do it. And I think that has definitely put the fear in me of if I'm not working on it, I'm gonna forget how to do it. And I, spent 5 years and lots of money learning how to do these things. But also like it's something that I love and I enjoy and I'm really passionate about. So it's like I don't want to stagnate. I don't want to forget. I don't want to fall behind. So that is a big motivator for me. Yeah. I don't want to get 5 years down the road and not be doing something with design. So yeah. That's my motivation.
like I don't know, because I mean that's like interesting because I should probably think a little bit more about like I want to utilize my skills more. Like I don't want to forget the animation skills that I just gained at all. Oh gosh, if I had to spend the same amount of time relearning, oh geez.
Yeah.
But those things I think are burned into my brain. But yeah, like I think it's interesting because that I could also see that totally helping with the creative block because you automatically out of the gate, I mean, before we even finished the group project for the first time. For the first time.
Yeah.
Said, I just want to do an animation project this summer because I just want to remember. Oh no, it was the second time. Before the second
time, because that's when I learned most of how to animate.
You were like, I just want to do an animation project because like I don't want to forget any of this. And like all of a sudden you were like, boom, this is my next project.
Yeah. Well, I was just so afraid of like forgetting and falling behind. And I kind of have developed this rotation in my mind because of that fear of not wanting to forget that like I'm going to do an animation. And once I'm done with this animation, I want to do another, round of like baseball cards because that portraiture that I had to do for the baseball cards is very intense. Mm-hmm. And I had to learn a lot. So like maybe not 24, but maybe like 5 new ones and like, but just rotate. And then I want to do a UX UI project and then I want to get back into coding. And so it's like, I've created a rotation so that I can keep my skills at like, hopefully the same place they are now. But yeah, I forgot how this ties into breaking the creative block. Oh, we were talking about motivations.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is what you need to just work to get out of a creative block. There we go. Tied it in.
Yeah, because I also like I feel like I had a decently low motivation when summer started. I was like, cool, I'm putting together this art check. I'm gonna do all the promotions for it and the thumbnails, and then like that was it. And so like I think it's interesting like to hear you be like, I'm gonna trade out my projects and do this. I have not thought that far ahead into anything at all.
Panic.
Like, geez, like just thinking about like all of the skills specifically that I learned last semester, where it's like I learned all of this stuff for CSS. I really don't want to relearn CSS.
Trust me, you don't. That was the thing is I took that class and then I didn't do anything with CSS and now I don't remember any of it. So I have to, like, I think that should probably be my next project, is I have to get back. I need to get my skills back for CSS. Like, I need to do that, because I keep saying I know CSS, but like I know the basics of CSS. So
yeah, at this point we're like, I'm just gonna go to my website and just do like inspect element and like look at everything that I have. But yeah, like I don't want to lose that skill simply because I don't want to have to relearn it. Like I already spent 13 or 14 weeks like trying to learn that skill, and like Adobe Illustrator like literally switched my major back to visual because I didn't want to stop using Illustrator and like forget everything that I had just learned and all of that stuff. And so like I think it's interesting, like that should probably personally be more of a motivating factor for me. Like whenever I get stuck of like, okay, well, what skill don't I want to lose? Because that just automatically gives you like, okay, you can just write down, I like word bubbles. I really like word bubbles. And I don't know a lot of other people that like word bubbles as much as I do. You're shaking your head no.
Do not remember this conversation.
I love word bubbles. Iris brought it up. Like I just don't know that many other people that are like, oh yeah, I use word bubbles all the time, but I seriously do. And like just being like, okay, I don't want to lose the CSS skill, I don't want to lose Illustrator, I don't want to lose After Effects, and just like seriously writing each one of those things like in its own bubble, and then like going from there. Like every 5 or 10 seconds, you have
word maps.
Word maps. That is that not a word? That's like a word bubble chart. Is that not what they're called?
I don't call them that, but that might just be me. I thought you meant like speech bubbles.
Oh no.
Like, oh yeah, I hate those.
Oh, no. I apparently need a translator. Yeah. They're not I swear, growing up they were.
They probably are. Yeah, you're good. Continue.
Okay. All kind of thinking in my head. Maybe they are called word. I think they're referred to as both.
Yeah, probably.
Anyways, sorry if you're listening to this and wondering why I'm talking about word bubbles. Word maps. Like I like using word maps where it's like, okay, I'm gonna write down that I want to work on CSS, I'm gonna write down that I work on After Effects and all of these things, and then like this is what I should do for my senior project. But write all of this down, and then like every 5 or 10 seconds, every 5 to 10 seconds, you have to write down something new, and like no idea is stupid, and so you have to write down something new, and then you go to round 2. I'm totally taking this from Com 130, by the way, and then you go to round 2. And then you can't write on the bubble before it, like the main bubble. You have to write on like the stuff that you just branched off. And then you have round 3 and you have to like tie them together. It works so well. It works so freaking well. I don't know. If that helps anybody else, if anybody winds up watching this back or is watching it and it's just like, well, I'm going to do that next time. I'm going to do it next time. I'm going to take my own advice. That's what I'm doing.
There you go.
But no, I think that like looking at those skills and saying like this is the skills that I want to remember should definitely help with the creative block. The creative block is a lot of things. It's very vague.
Mm-hmm.
We keep on doing vague topics.
Well, I think it's because it gives us the freedom to ramble.
Yeah. And then we do like a very specific topic and like 40 minutes in, we're like, are we done? But yeah, I mean, I think that's everything that I have to say on it. Just like all over the place of everything that I just said.
Yep. Do you want to do closing thoughts then?
Yeah, but you go first because I have to gather my thoughts.
So I think based on what we've said and what Corey Kerr said in the chat, that, you know, creative block it's mostly in your head and it's resistance and it's kind of just the fear of either failing or not doing well. And the best way to push past that is to either distract your brain. so that you let go of that anxiety so you can come up with more ideas, or to just start working on something. And the best way to have something to work on is to write down your ideas and bank them. Wash dishes and write stuff down. There we go.
Always wash dishes.
I don't know what that was. I think a phone is ringing. All right.
We're good. Yeah, my closing thoughts are similar to that. Where it's just like, honestly, the amount of times that like creative block I know has stood in my way or anybody else's way, just it really does come down to what's in your head and like what you're telling yourself, whatever excuse that you're making to have a block, because there is some excuse that you're making, and I made 90% of them when it came to this sticker stint, probably. But just like looking at like whatever you're blocked on or whatever, and just saying, okay, I'm actually seriously going to try to figure out anything for this project. I just want to brainstorm for this project. That helps a lot. Like if you already have a project in mind, or if you don't have a project in mind and you're just completely blocked, like sketch one thing a day, go into Illustrator one time a day, go into Photoshop one time a day, take out your camera once a day, like anything that is creative. If you're a musician, like play an instrument, for 30 minutes, just anything that like doesn't allow you to stop completely, because once you stop completely, you just kind of get used to it. And then you're like, I don't want to start another, 24-day project, anything like that. And so just like, don't let yourself stop, because then you're allowing the creative block to happen. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. I really like that.
Sweet. Okay. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Corey Kerr, for joining us in the chat. If you want to see my stuff, go to at diuguidvisualcomms. That's where you find everything, and 99% of the time I post on there before we go live. Today is the 1%, so sorry about that. To find Kaitlin's stuff, go to at Kaitlin There is also a link to her portfolio in the description below.
And on Friday, there will be a link to the YouTube channel. It's going to happen.
It will happen.
Yes.
And hopefully we will be live streaming starting on her channel next week. So,
yep.
It back and forth. A little bit of pressure to do it.
Yep.
Our topic today was just overcoming the creative block, very general about that. If you want to see Corey Kerr and Joshua Kemble's talk about this, I just created a banner and it went away. Go see his stuff. It was on his channel Monday, and they talked all about Einstein and what his theory about it was, and then all of them discussed it. And if you want to see the current art checks that they are doing, the ones that inspired us to start ours, tonight they're having an art check on Joshua Kemble's channel, so check his out. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you on Friday.
Bye.
Bye. It's going to take a long time.